First of all, thank you for all the feedback on my last video. It was honestly more than I expected, and I really appreciate everyone who took the time to watch it. I mentioned to my life coach, because I have a life coach, that I'd been thinking for a while about making videos, which I think I said previously. And she told me she really felt like that's something I should keep doing, and that I should keep using my voice to speak out about things that are important to me, and um, and for everyone who's touched by it or resonates with it in some way, that that's exactly what it's supposed to do and reach exactly who it's supposed to reach. So I'm trusting that. I'm trusting the feedback, and I'm appreciative of everybody who takes the time to care what I have to say. Um, so another thing that came up in my life coaching session this week is that the theme of trusting myself. And this happened because I was telling her about something that had occurred a few years ago, something that some of you know about, a very profound experience that I had. And at the time that I had it, it was so profound that I kind of just wanted to talk about it a lot to people who were close to me. And a lot of people didn't really understand. And I think that I'd operated under the assumption that if something was important to me, it should be important to people who care about me. And I grossly misunderestimated humanity, I guess. Not everybody's going to care what you're going through, and not everybody's going to understand what we have to say and what we have to share. And when that first happened to me, or first dawned on me, it was absolutely devastating, because what I was experiencing needed an outlet, and I needed to talk about it. And I'm very grateful for the people who understood, and even if they didn't fully understand, because it was kind of an experience that I don't think anybody can understand unless they're going through it. And I don't want to get into the specifics right now, but there were very few people who really were there for me. And especially people I expected to be weren't. And I understand why now, and it's okay. And I've had conversations with those people, and we've cleared the air, and we're fine. But I think that what I learned in that process is how deeply we need to reach a place of just trusting ourselves. So fast forward to my coaching session this week. I was kind of reliving this event with my coach, because it's something that deeply informs how I am, the person that I am now. And she was kind of playing devil's advocate and asking me questions that had the potential to be very, very triggering. And old me would have been devastatingly triggered by these questions. And I left the session this week, and I texted my best friend, and I said, my coach started asking me these questions, and questions like the ones she was asking always have a tendency to lead me to a place of doubt and questioning of myself. And my best friend said to me, who cares what she thinks? It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. What matters is how you feel and what you know to be true. And she's absolutely right. And so I just want to talk briefly about trusting oneself, because I have discovered a lot of people don't trust themselves. And this event that happened, it's been a roller coaster ride. There have been a lot of times that I've questioned uh, the, if I could trust myself, really. Um, and ultimately, after a lot of rumination and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of frustration and just spinning an endless hamster wheel, ultimately I still end up at the same place, that I absolutely can trust how I felt and how I feel and the experience that I had. And so I think that what I want to share about that is that even the most well-meaning people in our lives, and even our life coaches, and even our therapists, and even our parents, and even our friends, and people that we trust or that we should be able to trust, they have their own life experience and they have their own lens of life experience that they are processing our experiences through. But at the end of the day, it's not their experience. So they can have whatever opinions they want. They can have whatever judgments that they want. I was called names. I was called some pretty nasty names. I was told that I was crazy. I specifically had the word psychotic episode referenced in regard to me. There were a lot of nasty things that were said about what I was experiencing and what I was going through, and that really had the potential to bring me down. And at the end of the day, I think I realized, like, I know myself better than anybody else. Who is anybody else to tell me who I am? And I think that that kind of attitude still exists very strongly within me. I think that it's ultimately something that would benefit everybody to adopt, because nobody can tell you who you are or what you believe or what is important to you or how you should live your life better than you. People can have an opinion. People can advise based on life experience. People can, be concerned. And that's all perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, who has to live with you 24/7? You. And so you get to decide who you're going to be, what you're going to believe, how you're going to operate in the world, how you're going to treat people. And that's all on you. And so if you have a conviction about something and people don't seem interested or they don't care or they don't understand, as long as you know that you're on the right path and that you can believe that where you're headed is important to you. And I think that we're able to feel that inside. I think we all have an internal compass. Some are more attuned to their internal compass than other people are. It just takes practice, but you can trust where you're being led. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. If something feels peaceful and calm and like all of the locks are kicking into gear, or not locks, like puzzle pieces, you can trust that. And so I think one of the hurdles to trusting oneself is people tend to think, look at all the failures I've had in my life. Look at all of the bad decisions that I've made. Look at all of the ways things have turned to shit because of things that I've done and said and ways I've behaved and all those things. But what I have to say to that is, number one, we're all human. We all make mistakes. It's just part of being human. But the beautiful thing about making mistakes is we can always choose a different path. There's always a different path available to us. Nothing is ever truly stuck unless we're dead. Like, you can't come back from that. But anything broken can be fixed. Anything that's headed in the wrong direction can be turned around. So I think that's a different topic, and I think that has to do with other things. But regarding trusting oneself, I understand how we tend not to trust ourselves. We have such loud voices in our ears telling us how to look, how to be, what to think. We have so much shame around feeling like we're not living up to the expectations of other people or society or sometimes even ourselves. But I challenge everybody to think, where are these expectations even coming from? Do I feel good about where I'm at? If I don't, then change it. If I feel good, but nobody else understands what I'm going through, that's okay, because it's not their journey and it's not their story, and it's just an opinion. I had an argument about a year and a half ago with somebody, and this person told me, well, everybody I've talked to thinks that the way you're approaching this is completely asinine. And I said, well, lucky for those people, I don't crowdsource to determine what the right decision is for me. And that shut him up real fast, because I don't care what anybody thinks. So all of that to say, I had this counseling or coaching session this week, and my therapist was very questioning of me. And I left that session thinking, should I be questioning of myself? And my best friend came in, as my neighbor likes to say, I think this is what the kids say these days, came in clutch. I don't know what that means. I'm getting old. My best friend came in clutch and said, who cares? How do you feel? And I said, I feel as strongly positive about this as I have since day one. And she said, well, then that's all that matters. And so I'll leave you with a life tip I have as to how to build greater trust in yourself. I start small. So I stop bailing on myself. So I will, I'll set a goal. Like, I want to wake up at 6 a.m. and I want to do half an hour of meditation and I want to do half an hour of yoga. Every time that I make an excuse for why that's not going to happen or didn't happen, I'm bailing on myself, which means I can't trust myself. I told myself I would do something and I didn't do it. Now I can't trust myself. So I think one of the easiest ways to start building trust is to build from the ground up. Like, start small. I'm going to get up and I'm going to drink a glass of water as soon as I wake up. Every time you do that, you're incrementally building trust within yourself until you get to the point where you can do hard things and you can trust that you can do hard things. And I want you to look back over the course of your life at all the hard things you have done and gone through and have come out the other side, and you're still alive and you're still growing and learning. And remember those things, because you did those things and you're okay. Even if you're still going through things and there's mental health issues, you still did hard things, which means you can still do hard things. So trust yourself that you can get through things, that you can make wise choices, and that even if things fall through, you can still continue to make better choices. And so, I just want to leave everybody with that, because I know that this is something a lot of people deal with, and I'm by no means perfect. I've had my own arduous journey of learning to trust myself, but at the end of the day, I think it's a worthwhile pursuit, because we live with ourselves 24/7, and it's not really anybody else's job to tell you how to think or feel or be. And we need to get to a space that we're comfortable saying, this is who I am. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't understand my journey, that's fine. It's not your story. It's frustrating for us when people don't understand us, but at the end of the day, as long as we're comfortable with what we're going through, even if nobody can be there to understand it or to hold our hand as we walk through it, it can feel lonely. But in all reality, nobody really has to get it. We just have to know that this is what is right for me, and I don't really care what anyone else thinks. So it takes work, and it takes practice, and it takes time, and it takes self-reflection. Sometimes it takes space, but I think it's important. So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully something that I said resonated, struck a chord, was needed in some way, but I promise you can trust yourself. You can. No matter how many voices are in your ear telling you otherwise. It's really none of their business. So, yeah, if anybody needs anything, per usual, I'm here if you want to bounce ideas off me, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns. I don't know what you'd be concerned about. I think I'm perfectly sane, but anyway, I hope everyone has a good night, and I will talk to you soon.